Hi, first grade. Today for math, we are going to continue talking about solving problems where sometimes you have to regroup. And if you remember last week, in our last math lesson of last week, we took a look at some problems where we were adding two-digit numbers, and some of the problems we had to regroup, some of the problems we did not have to regroup. But just a reminder, regrouping is when you trade 10 ones for one 10. And it can also mean trading one 10 for 10 ones. And we're going to see how that works today. So today we're going to work on subtraction, some subtraction problems where sometimes you may need to regroup. And it's a little different than when we use regrouping in addition, but we're going to go over it today. So I have this problem down here, 47 minus 9. And I have 47 shown using the tens and ones blocks. And so I know that I have 47 and I want to take away 9. But when I look in the ones place here, I see that there's only 7 ones there. So I can't subtract 9 ones when I only have 7 ones, right? If I have, 7 pencils and you ask me for 9, I can't give you 9 pencils because I only have 7. But there's something that we can do to help us solve this problem. What we can do is go over into the tens place and we can regroup, meaning trade a 10, and we can break it apart into ones. And we can do this just temporarily while we are solving this problem. So let me move this over and then I will break it apart and change it into ones. So now we have the 7 ones that we started with, and then we've regrouped and brought over 10 more ones. There's still 47 on the board right now. We just kind of changed the way it looks a little bit. So now we have, I can tell 10 ones here, and then there's 7 ones here. So now instead of having just the 7 ones that we started with in the problem, now we have 17 ones. And can we subtract 9 from 17? If we have 17, can we take away 9? Yep, we sure can. So we can cross off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now we can see how many ones are left after we subtract the 9. And I can see that there are 8 ones left. So the answer here, there would be 8 ones, but now we have to take a look at the tens place because there's not 4 tens left anymore. There's 3 tens because we took one of them and we regrouped it. So the final answer to 47 minus 9 would be 38. Now, just like we did with addition, let's go ahead and take a look at how we can solve these problems using paper and pencil. Okay, so now we are back on the screen where we see our tens and ones work mat that we can use to help us solve that same problem, 47 minus 9. So just like with the addition problems, we want to make sure to line up the tens and the ones in the right spot. So in 47, I know there are 4 tens and 7 ones. And then when we subtract 9, that's 9 ones. So we want to make sure that we keep that in the ones place. So now we can put our 9 ones here. And now we have the same problem, 47 minus 9 written sideways or horizontally, and we've just made it into a vertical problem or where it's up and down. Now we can subtract. So again, we always start in the ones and we say 7 minus 9. Now, if you remember from the cubes, we can't take 9 away from 7. And some of you may remember a little poem that your teacher probably taught you when we went over this in class. But remember, if there's more on top, no need to stop. But if there's more on the floor, meaning there's more in that second spot in the ones, then we can go next door and get 10 more. So if there's more on the floor, we can go next door and get 10 more. So what that looks like on paper and pencil is crossing out the 4. So remember, we took that 110 rod and we broke it up and we moved it over to the ones place. And so instead of having 4 tens, we now have 3 tens. But now we have to change the ones because there's not 7 ones anymore. If you remember from the cubes, there was 17 ones after we brought that 10 over. So a little trick is whatever number you have in the ones place, if you put that up here in the box and then you put a 1 in front of it, that will tell you how many ones you have after regrouping. And the reason that works is because there were 7 ones to begin with, and then we took one of the tens and moved it over, and that one digit there is in the tens place. That stands for that 10 that we moved over. Now we can subtract 17 minus 9, and we know that that equals 8. And then we can subtract our tens. We have 3 minus, and this is really just 0. There's nothing there. So there would be 3 tens, 38. Okay? So let's just take a quick look at 2 more quick examples, and then you'll try some of these on your own in your activity today. So we have 59 minus 5. So again, I'm going to be really careful and line up there's 5 tens and 9 ones in the number 59, and then minus 5. And I know that that is a 1. Those are ones, so I need to put them in the ones place. Now, I start in the ones and I will subtract 9 minus 5. Now I can think of that poem again, and if there's more on top, no need to stop. So we can just subtract this as it is. We don't have to regroup. And I know 9 minus 5 equals 4. And then 5 minus basically 0, there's nothing there, also would be equals 5. So the answer to 59 minus 5 would be 54. Okay, let's try one more problem. 63 minus 23. So again, make sure you line up the numbers, 6 tens, 3 ones, and now this time we're subtracting a 2-digit number. So we just do the same thing, but we just make sure to line it up and keep the tens in the tens, so the 2 tens and 3 ones, and now we can subtract, we can start working on the problem. So in the ones we have 3 minus 3, and the little poem that helps me to remember what to do when the numbers are the same, if it says, if the numbers are the same, 0 is the game. So you don't have to regroup this. 3 minus 3 just equals 0, right? 3 minus 3 equals 0. So if the numbers are the same, 0 is the game. And now I can come over and subtract the tens. 6 minus 2, I know that equals, oh, nope, I'm adding, whoops. See, sometimes we all make mistakes, huh? All right, so 6 minus 2 equals 4, not 8. And the answer to 63 minus 23 equals 40. Okay, so in your Seesaw activity, you're going to solve some problems like this with subtraction. Just remember, if there's more on top, meaning in the ones spot here, if there's more on top, no need to stop. If there's more on the floor, go next door, get 10 more. And then if the numbers are the same, 0 is the game. So just try your best, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye, first grade.